How are all of you lovely people doing today? My name is John, and welcome to another beautiful episode of the Zombie Storyline Q&A. This is a series where I take your questions about the zombie storyline and answer them. Whether it be a big, a small, or a simple question, I'm always more than happy to take them on. So you can either leave your questions down below or tweet me at JohnnyJ25, and maybe while you're there, follow me on Twitter. It'd always be much appreciated. We're coming up on 10,000 followers. Without further ado, let's begin with the episode. We're going to kick off today's episode with a question from Christian Jones, who asks, what is the distant monster? For those of you that don't know, when you're playing Zetsubou No Shima, there is a weird figure that swims across the horizon, or at least flies across the horizon. It's hard to say for sure. He was originally discovered by the Deadly Blue Flame. He realized that you can actually, when you reach round 50, take a sniper rifle and look across the horizon, and you see this figure, and it looks like it's swimming across the water. And you can actually go up to this object in theater mode through some glitches, and when you get up close to it, all you really see is a black object. There are no textures on this image, there are no details to discern any meaning. Treyarch specifically left this image vague. They made it a silhouette that moved across the water, and they did this to create a bit of mysteriousness. They don't want you to exactly know what this is. They just want you to be playing zombies, reach round 50, maybe look out into the distance and see this weird monster swimming across the water. It's a strange thing, and it makes people wonder, well, what is this distant monster? The answer may actually lie in the skull of Zetsubou. You see, Zetsubou is actually a god within the religion of the people who lived in the city Non-Madal on the island Pompeii. We believe this to be the location of Zetsubou No Shima, since we found some pieces of paper within Shadows of Evil that gave us coordinates to Non-Madal and Pompeii. If this is the case, if Treyarch incorporated the skull of Zetsubou, this means that we may actually be able to find the answers to some of our questions in Non-Madal's religion. According to the religion of the people who lived on Non-Madal about 600 years ago, they believed that their city was constructed by two twin sorcerers known as Elisifa and Olasifa, and they actually built an altar on the island, and it was on this altar that they performed many rituals. One of the rituals allowed them to levitate huge stones with the aid of flying dragons, and when they moved these stones, that is what allowed them to build the city. If this is the case, maybe by incorporating this strange monster in the background of the map, it is a reference to the dragons that help build the map. And we've seen dragons incorporated in zombies before. We found dragon eggs on Zetsubou No Shima, and we also found references to dragons in an upcoming map known as Stalingrad, or at least what we believe to be Stalingrad. Maybe by including this weird monster in the background, it's either swimming in the water or flying across the horizon, and it could be one of the ancient dragons in Non-Madal's religion. That's just one explanation. Another possibility is that it actually is Cthulhu, or a monster within the Cthulhu mythos. You see, the person who created the Call of Cthulhu, H.P. Lovecraft, he was inspired by the ruins of Non-Madal, and it actually gave him the inspiration for the sunken city of Ryla. And within the Cthulhu mythos, this is where Cthulhu lays dormant. This is where he's sleeping, and it's an entrance into the city of Ryla where many of the other creatures live. What it could be, because we've seen many references to Cthulhu throughout Shadows of Evil, it could be one of the monsters within this mythos kind of popping its head out, kind of just lurking there, and maybe it exists in this area, and Treyarch is incorporating more H.P. Lovecraft into their zombie maps. That could very well be an explanation for what this distant monster is. As I said prior, when we go up to this monster, we get absolutely no details about it. There are no textures, it's literally just a black object that Treyarch is moving across the background. They've intentionally left this vague, and they've forced us to derive meaning. The two best explanations right now are that it's a reference to Zetsubou and many of the gods and legends that created Non-Madal, or it's another reference to Lovecraft. Or, I guess Treyarch maybe wanted to incorporate a sea monster into their map. That's also an explanation, but that's no fun, and that's lazy. That's poor storytelling. What do you guys think? Let me know, but at the moment, those are the leading theories. Moving on, we now have a question from Jason Ace Veta, who asks, what is the significance of the summoning key other than capturing the 1.0s inside of it? I think to answer this question, what we need to do is look at Shadows of Evil, because here's my theory. When we play Shadows of Evil, what we did was capture 4 souls, and we put them inside the summoning key through the rituals. Once we had them in the summoning keys, what we did was actually use them to summon the overlords. We placed down the 4 gate worms, we put the summoning key on the altar, and then the Shadow Man completed the ritual and he summoned his overlords, and they started to consume the city up until when we completed the Easter egg. Maybe Treyarch was foreshadowing future events within the zombie storyline. Right now, what we need to do is collect 4 souls. We need to collect Richtofen, Takio, Nikolai, and Dempsey. We currently have 3 of the 4 souls, and we have 1 more to go. This is awfully reminiscent of the 4 rituals within Shadows of Evil. We know a great battle is looming within zombies. There are several references to it. Our characters talk about it. We've seen it depicted in maps like Der Eisendrache. If this is the case, if there is a great battle coming, it's probably with the overlords that were introduced to us within Shadows of Evil. Maybe Richtofen is collecting those 4 souls because we can use them in some sort of ritual, and the summoning key will allow us to do that. The summoning key holds the 4 souls inside of it, and then we can use it to summon the overlords. Now, it's hard to say for sure. According to Jason Blundell, we have actually yet to summon something with the summoning key, so maybe there is a greater purpose to it. That's difficult to say right now. Treyarch is leaving a lot of mystery within the summoning key. All we've really seen it do is interact with the gate worms, as well as capture souls inside and freeze bodies in mid-air, like in the Der Eisendrache ending cutscene. Right now, that's my best take on it. I feel as though the summoning key is important because we're capturing the souls and we're going to be using them to maybe summon in the overlords. Or there could be other hidden powers within the summoning key yet to be revealed to us. If it's the summoning key and we haven't summoned something yet, there's gotta be more to it. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Right now though, that's my best theory. We're gonna end today's episode with a question from Celldogs Bra, who asks, what happened to "You must not awaken the test subjects"? This was a big deal early on in Black Ops 3. We have radio messages from Dr. Maxis explaining how the test subjects cannot be awakened. They will wreak havoc throughout the universe and they must be stopped, and one of the ways to do that is to prevent them from ever being woken up. Richtofen talks about how he needs to keep the test subjects asleep, he can't awaken them. Meanwhile, there's a bit of conflict brewing, because our 2.0 characters talk about waking up their 1.0 versions of themselves, or recovering them. That's what Tank thinks he's doing going into Der Eisendrache, and Richtofen has to stop him and explain that he cannot live, he must die. That's what's going on when he freezes his body with the summoning key. Why though? If this is the case, if the test subjects cannot be awakened in order to save the universe, is Takio awake at the end of Zetsubou No Shima? It doesn't make sense, and this is the heart of this question right here. Whatever happened to "You must not awaken the test subjects"? Well, Takio finds himself in a very tricky situation. You see, he's been captured or betrayed, I guess you could say, by his own people. The Japanese have him locked up in a cell below the waves. He's become this beast. He's no longer the man he was. Takio 1.0, when he was with the crew, was wreaking havoc on the universe. But now, Takio finds himself in a new reality, and then in this alternate reality, he's a prisoner. He's a beaten man. He doesn't really have much of a will to live anymore. After all, he does kill himself. He's no longer the kind of person that would destroy the universe, or at least cause the universe to become an entangled mess. He's, for all intents and purposes, asleep. He's no longer active in sort of the mucking up of the universe. While he isn't actually stuck in his pod like Tank, he might as well be, because he's still trapped behind bars. And that's why this idea of awakening the test subjects isn't really as important in this map right here. Tank 1.0 and Der Eisendrache is just in a cryogenic slumber. Wake him up and he's pretty much good as new. However, this Takio is unlike Tank. It's just, you can look at him and he's not the same person anymore. He's a beaten old man now, I guess you could say, although he's really not much older than any of the other characters. Either way, awakening the test subjects is still important to what our characters are trying to achieve. We're trying to set the universe right. However, when they say awaken the test subjects, this assumes that they're still asleep. Takio happened to have been awoken up before we even got to him, although because of what the Japanese did to him, it still doesn't matter. That's gonna end things for this episode of the Zombie Storyline Q&A. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like and maybe subscribe for more. I'm going to be uploading more episodes of the Zombie Storyline Q&A just like this one, and if you enjoyed this one, I'm sure you'll love the next one. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and bye.